What's up? And welcome. Dreadlock Pocket, aka Big Brain, what I bang. And today, I hope to entertain. Welcome one, welcome all, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hope you're doing fine, fantastic, swell, muy bien, très bien, konnichiwa. I hope everybody is doing well, man. I hope you and the universe is in sync. And if not, if you feel like you in some sort of disharmony or something maybe negatively affecting you, try not to get into it, right? Try to actually take it and change it, right? Use it in your favor if you can in some sort of way. Plant a seed that maybe you can reap the rewards in the future, right? But yeah, man, I hope you and everything is going well. Like a wise one once told me, transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master today, right? So, yeah, man, how's it going, everybody? We at the end of the season. Season of Defiance has come to a close. Man, that went by fast, didn't it? Them not Lightfall, but them the expansion seasons seem to do that sometimes. But you know how they say, like, with time, right, goes by fast when you're having fun and stuff. And then, like at work, if you're having a long, miserable day, it just seems to just tick by, right? So, yeah, it's no time like the present. Here we are now. But as we usually do, right? I can't believe I actually made it with my procrastinating self. Yeah, man, we're gonna do the whole Vault Hoarder thing, right? The plan today is to take a moment, go through the vault, right? Look at everything that we've obtained over the past few seasons. Look at what may be good, what fell off of the meta, what may be good next meta, right? And yeah, just chit chat about the season of the Bikini Bottom that's about to drop. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? But yeah, man, shoot, let's go ahead and dive into it. I want to talk about a couple of build ideas and everything, see what the community is feeling like with the setups, man. We've got a lot of information and whatnot. It's been a minute. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and dive right on in. This time, I actually did a little bit of preparation, right? I actually did my little homework. I wrote down some stuff that I wanted to make sure I went through. Not saying that I'm actually going to stick to it and get through everything. But this time I actually made sure that I didn't skip each character, because I think the last few times I had weapons on my alts that I didn't cover fully. But let's start off with the hunter, man. Oh man, speaking of the hunter, man, how y'all feeling about them exotic buffs coming next season, right? I got some good ones like across the board and everything. But yeah, man, I'm curious to see how that reptile Sub-Zero Spectre works, right? On a strand. It looks pretty neat. I'm gonna have to get my hands on it actually to see what kind of synergy and everything it got going. But comparing it with the aspects we got now, right? The ensnare and slam, I don't see that one getting taken off, right? For it. And then you got the additional grenade charge. So it's gonna have some competition. It's definitely gonna have to be it's definitely gonna have to pop, I think, in order for us to take those two off. Because that's the thing, right? I love when they introduce new stuff that competes, because at the end of the day, when you have things vying for space, right? Yeah, there may be a really OP combination, but imagine if we had like 4 or 5 of these, right? Then you can only choose 2, and so it wouldn't be so bottlenecked when it comes to the builds, right? You wouldn't see the spam, as it were, right? Because you have variety. At least that's the way I like to think about it. So yeah, looking forward to what that's gonna bring. But the builds that I was thinking in mind, though, look, I'm already going off tangent. We supposed to be going through my weapons and stuff. But I had a couple in mind, though. Yeah, let's stick to the weapons. Look at me, man. Look at me. All right, so first thing, a couple of crafters. We probably going to zoom through the crafters pretty regularly, because, of course, you can craft them. But may give a little reason why I make my way I make it. But Succession, obviously, right? Reconstruction, Vorpal. Just really one of the best snipers in the game. The sniper's getting that 10% buff, which is we actually gonna be knocking heads back next season. And the fact that we have elemental synergy now, right? We can do things like do radiant, and then you can pop a anti-barrier shield. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the sniper buff. Rip Izanagi didn't get it, but hey, maybe Darcy can do something now. One of the roses that I test out, maybe getting dismantled, may keep rapid hit, explosive payload. Teammate said it was nice. Ever since they nerfed rapid hit, though, I haven't really been feeling it. I'm kind of keeping it, hoping that they revert some of the nerf, but like I just don't feel it as well as it used to feel, man. And like it just really it's just not the same. But yeah, that's the role that I kept. Wish I would have got a better situation here, but you know, it is what it is. Um, Fatebringer Time Loss, one of my favorite PvE ones. Definitely gonna use this with Chromatic Fire on my Warlock, yo. Um, Anyone as regulars, the frequents regulars the channel, right? They know how much I love utility perks. Thresh is hands down one of my favorite perks. I know it's not that much super overall, but I think of it in like a longevity situation, like you running an activity and you can't change your weapon, and that extra little super matters to me. But I am looking forward to using this with Chromatic Fire. The fact that it's going to get that unique synergy based off of each subclass definitely looks like that's going to be fun. Um, Stay Frosty. So glad I grinded this thing out. Uh, this thing is like a kinetic version of the BXR. Um, I also think, right, that this lightweight frame is gonna have some competition with the Chattering Bone if the Last Wish weapons become craftable. If they end up slapping Headseeker on the Chattering Bone, yeah, I believe that that will be some competition. And the reason the reason I think we don't see more of the Stay Frost little splash when it was there, and then people forgot about it. But I think if anyone has this combo, not even really just combo, but just Head Seeker in general, give it a try. Tell me how you like it. Get back to me. But this is just one of the many multiple roles I've kept in, which you will see later. Still stuttering over my words. Got the nice little bow, you know, Wellspring Pugilist. As I said, I love utility archetypes and weapons and every weapon combos, and this is definitely one of my favorite when it comes to being a brawler. Since Titans are getting that change with the shoulder charge, and there's a couple of other builds that I had in mind. I think it was revolving around the hunter melee and stuff like that. But it just helps to get your abilities back pretty fast. Got the Sununa SI6, was one of the first ones I had drop. Was using it in the raid and whatnot. It served pretty well, man. Being one of the few weapons with pugilists in the kinetic slot. We are getting more and more, but the fact that it was anti-barrier, the stars just lined up with this thing, and I really enjoyed it. The Omelon triple burst, one of these. The Braytech Werewolf. Glad I kept this old baby. Aside from utility perks, one perk that I love to mess with a lot is Unrelenting, and I hate that it doesn't come on more weapons, but when it hops on a kinetic weapon that has the potential to slay out, I really like to push it to its edge because I can't remember the name of the perk in D1, but it was basically Unrelenting, right? You get a couple of kills and it kickstarts health regen. It always reminded me of the Red Death, and so anytime that there's a unique combination or, like I said, a good kinetic weapon that can slay out that doesn't rely on special, I'm always wanting to give it a run. And it's okay. It's pretty good. Just out of all the rifles, 450s really aren't my jam. But you know, check your vault. You might have something that feels pretty fun. We got Aegir Scepter, one of my favorite weapons. Trace rifle is pretty much a special auto rifle, so no secret as to why I love that thing. The Heritage, I haven't actually finished leveling this thing up all the way. Actually, I was in the progress of doing it during the Guardian game, since they gave us double XP. Man, I know I'm gonna miss that when it's gone. Hopefully, it's a permanent staple thing. We got a Synchronic Roulette, keep away, kill clip. Gonna test this thing out later when it has the zoom changes. Maybe it might be good. Maybe. Collective Obligation. Love this weapon as well. Pretty fun overall. Yeah, great raid concept weapon, man. Nothing bad to even think about that gun. I really like when they lean out of like when I think of space magic and Destiny weapons, that's what I think of, right? The collective obligation. Everything about that is pretty good. And I'm glad it was a primary too, right? So you can get a lot of use out of it. I mean, I love special on heavy raid exotics, right? But it's like sometimes they're so situational that you just really don't see a lot of play in them. Speaking of that, though, Eyes of Tomorrow next season, though, right? Or tomorrow. Eyes of Tomorrow. Exalted Truth, pretty funky role. I love the synergistic combos, right? Killing Wind, Encore, both proc at the same time, both giving you pretty good benefits, stability, range, and accuracy bonus. And then with Killing Wind, you're gonna get that mobility, that range, and that handling. So yeah, pretty funky. Repulsor Brace, it was fun to try out this season in PvE, but the thing was, hand cannons wasn't really making a splash. So it's like, the tech is there, which is pretty cool with Repulsor Brace on the kinetic weapon, but that's all it was. Maybe next season. with Unstoppable being in the artifact mod, you might see a little bit more of that out and about. Follow Tactic Spiral, Volt Shot. That's pretty much the only reason I wanted this thing. I know it can slay out PvP, but I honestly don't have enough vault space to craft the PvP version, so Volt Shot is where I went. This may change though, depending on how bad the tweak happens to Volt Shot, right? Because I know they're changing some of the numbers, so we'll revisit it and see if it's worth actually keeping. But yeah, out of all the vert perks, well, yeah, that's definitely up there as one of my favorite. There is a couple of really good ones. The Albruna D, I'm just gonna see how this slaps or hitting next season with the 10% sniper buff, clown cartridge, firing line. If it's worth it, I'll keep it. If not, trash it. Feels okay for 72, but it ain't no frozen orbit. Cartesian coordinate, one of the relics. Ended up keeping this one out of all the old particle deconstruction meta. Under pressure, Vorpal, projection range, nothing too fancy. Got the posterity. Finally ended up knuckling it up and going into Deep Stone and getting my last one. I still need my commemoration and my bequest. But yeah, Volt Shot and Pugilist. I love the combo of Wellspring, Pugilist, and Braytech Inheritance. Man, that with the Hunter Kuna on Strand is a really fun loop. I'm actually thinking about going back and enhancing and trying an enhanced version of it. Yeah, those tangerines are another conversation for another day. Zaloui's Bane, there's nothing else. Is pretty much the Walmart Sunshot. It's pretty good, man. I'm thinking we're gonna see a lot more of that, depending on what the strikes are on Nightfalls are next season. We got the Igneous Hammer, quick draw snapshot, ricochet rounds, arrowhead reload, and then we got the Dark Decider, auto loading, Volt Shot on the auto rifle. These things could use a lot more range, which is why I kept this one. Well, this is probably the best one I ended up getting. But man, the recoil direction and the range, man, it hurts me because it's like it's not like they neglected it on purpose, but it feels like it came from Iron Banner. It was just like, nah, we ain't even gonna consider the stats. Like it needs a lot of help to be competitive. Hopefully, with that range adjustment, man, it may be able to stand on its own legs. And then we got the Edge of the Concurrence. Pretty fun glaive to mess around with in PvP, I will say for sure. The fact that it has like the fastest fire rate, you can get shots off like back to back, man. When it comes to PvP and using glaives, that's honestly my favorite one. We got the Archon's Thunder, auto loading, Thresh, obviously, right? I think I kept it because it was a solar LMG. Royal Entry, Field Prep, Clown, Impact Casing or Ally. I kept on Alloy because of the reload speed, right? Just in those do or die hard situations. Solar Scar, man. I'm hoping that honestly, I guess I would be okay if they didn't bring it back, because like I don't mind when they bring Trials weapons back, but the fact that we only get 2 per season, like if they brought it back and we got 3 or 4, is different, I feel. But they got to work at their capacity or whatever. But just saying from a player perspective, I would just rather see constant new weapons, and then just old weapons be put into the obtainable loot pool, right? Like how you can go focus your engrams. But that being said, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So if it was to come back, this type of caster frame sword, right, coming back with a verb perk such as Incandescent, oh my god, could you imagine being able to like sling the flame right from a distance and then just cause the solar explosions? It's kind of just basically an exotic. But yeah, like the messenger's coming back, right? It's gonna be pretty sure it's gonna slap. But the thing is, I'm pretty sure we all would have loved to see a new weapon as well, right? But like I said, they work at their capacity, so that's just the way I frame it. Bump in the Night demo chill clip. Really like this one. I think this got the fastest reload. Yeah, fastest reload speed rocket, I think. If you can spec into it that way. On the high impact. Got the other half. I think the only reason I kept this one because it can roll with Vorpal. This one maybe getting to the end of his road, to be honest, as I'm needing more and more vault space every season. Dimensional Hypertrochoid, combination of Unrelenting Thresh. I ain't even gotta explain, right? Taipan, just kept it because it kept it. I never really leaned into the meta role because I was mostly the div guy, the beam bro. But yeah, field prep and then repulsor brace. Pretty decent when it comes to verb perk tech. You know, you can lean into a few things here and there. Sales by pitch glass. I will say, I know linears aren't frequently used as ad clear, but like there are situations in strikes, right, where you just got some heavy ammo to burn. Try this out, man. It's actually pretty fun. Getting a headshot, reload, spread the volt shot is really good at spreading jolt. Really good and really fun. And the fact that you can synergize it with compulsive reloader is just like instant, you know. You got Storm Chaser. It's probably hitting the end of its road. I honestly think I'm just keeping it because I don't want to go. I don't see myself going back into duality anytime soon. And then we got the Outrageous Fortune. I go on about this thing every time that I see it because this is the only heavy grenade launcher that can roll with concussive grenades. I think it's still available in Dares of Eternity, although I'm not sure that it can roll with concussive nades. But, you know, as a utility nerd, right? The fact that you have utility in the heavy slot on a legendary grenade launcher. I think this was the best roll on paper that I wanted to chase, and luckily I ended up getting it. I'm really love auto loading, but now that we can have the mods in our boots and whatnot, they definitely change up a little bit. But yeah, that's all the main things I'm hunting for now. But next season, I'm thinking a few decent builds would be the Side Arachnes, right? With that Woven Mail perk from the Artifact mod might be pretty fun. I do want to get on an Ahamkara build before they nerf my boy, because I got a feeling with them adjusting exotics, right? That was another thing I wanted to say, was like the fact that hunters look like they got the shortest end of the stick when it came to exotic reworks. But the thing about that I'm looking at is that they said that they're going to be adjusting more exotics in the future. So even though it looks like they covered a lackluster bunch, the fact that they covered that bunch already means that we have more potential to look forward to in the future. And so the best thing I would say is just, you know, hit them with your feedback. What would you like to see buffed? How would you like to see it buffed? You know what I'm saying? What would be a power fantasy on it and everything? But all of that is said just to say that, yeah, I think Ahamkara is going to have his day in the sun, man. Because the more that other things get adjusted, you know, the more nails be sticking up out of the floorboard. And I love me some Ahamkaras, but like, I can face reality, and yeah, in this meta sandbox, right? They are powerful, right? I think the reward over the risk is higher than standard exotics nowadays, right? Like it's not free, but like it's free enough to be a problem. And so something on it will be adjusted just because of, I think, community sentiment, which is, you know, fair. You know, like fighting against it, that's fair and fine. I do say counters are the best thing, but the way Aham Cars works now is just, I love it, bro. But yeah, I want to revisit this with something like a Gunpowder Gamble. That's getting adjusted a little bit, a lot actually, which is going to be really funky and fun. But using that with something like Forerunners, right? Just thinking outside the box. I think Shinobu's Vow is going to be pretty neat with the Arc Artifact mod. So will Lucky Raspberry, right? That lightning strikes twice. Let me think. Gemini Jesters will probably be pretty funky with the reptile Shadow Clone Jutsu right on Strand. I'm thinking that's going to be pretty dirty. And then Radiant Dance Machines, actually. I was having so much fun with it this season out of all, because there's not really a lot of exotics that synergize with Strand, right? But Radiant Dance Machines, it has a little fun niche play style with it, and I'm very interested to see how it's going to change in the future. That and Monte Carlo with the Atheris and Oath Keepers were the only like main things that stuck out to me. So probably gonna play with the hunter a little bit here and there. We'll see. Maybe there's some hidden synergy or anything that comes out. We also do got to keep in mind too that hopefully we'll get an exotic for each class as well this season. So maybe we'll see something unique that can make the hunter dive into meta. But you know, you got your obvious stuff too, right? Like your Gefilte Falcons, your Jir Falcons, and all that stuff. So definitely looking forward to experimenting for sure. But we'll see, hunters. All right, so my Titan, my titty boy. All right, this is what we got going on with him here. So on the weapons side, crafted multiple Rufus's Fury. Probably gonna craft a third, but this one right here on the Titan, you know, we had to go with the auto rifle spam bot, right? And speaking of spam bot, bro, y'all already know Sweet Business Bot that be so fun next season, right? But yeah, went ahead and crafted this thing with rerun rounds and target lock, right? Pretty obvious, pretty straightforward. You know, makes sense. With Actium War Rig on the Titan, it's pretty fun. On paper, it sounds better than it actually is, but I think it will shine greater this season simply because we have anti-barrier auto rifle over overload, right? Because the way the overloads kind of work, you want to like stun them, swap off, right? But with anti-barrier, you want to stay on that shield. So like if you're peppering them before anticipating their shield up timing, you know, you can probably get a lot of use out of target lock and rewind rounds as well. So it's just really going to depend on what activities carry what champions. We got the Herod C, you know, testing this mug out. Couple of cool combinations on here. I really like when they throw a weapon into any of the playlist pools, right? Because even though it comes with a lot of perks, the fact that we can level up the vendors in order to get multiple perks, you know, you can get some funky combinations. But yeah, Unrelenting shines here, and so does Headstone. It's pretty okay. And then next season we'll be able to, I think they said we'll be able to lean into getting charged up with our respective abilities, right? So stasis shards, we should be able to become armor charged now. The fire sprites, we should be able to. The void breaches, you know, ionic traces, etc. So I'm thinking the likes of Headstone will come back into play simply by making stasis shards and stuff. The lingering dread, got the pretty amazing combo of disorienting, auto loading, chill clip, right? You know we had to grind for that bad, baby. The Stay Frosty, here's another version of it, right? Different stats, pretty much. Small bore, Rico, moving target, head seeker, and or headstone. What's funny, man, is headstone is actually pretty okay in like revive scenarios, like if you're playing showdown or trials, bro. There's nothing more funny than like getting a headshot and then watching their res get encased and then seeing someone go for the res and then either them breaking the ice or you shooting the ice and breaking and getting chip damage, bro. That's just so funny every time, yeah. We got the Ikara Sensei, is what I like to call this mode. Got the 4 times the charm fire line, the pendant. I think, yeah, Banshee had to be selling this one. I definitely want to say I remember picking it up from Banshee. Could be imagine it, but I think I remember picking that roll up from Banshee. Too good to pass up, especially since they got those the increase in the ammo reserves now, right? So with the 10% sniper buff, it's gonna be interesting to see that. Got the Riptide, of course, auto loading chill clip. Everything else is just everything else. I will say though, Riptide surprised me in PvP. I did not think it was gonna be able to hit like it did after those fusion rifle changes. I was like, Riptide is just a PvE weapon. Nah, son, go give it a try if you got a good roll. You'll be surprised, yo. Round robin, it's the way I crafted it. Keep away, ECAP. Been running Void a lot recently. It's pretty stable, pretty fun. It feels really good, man. I went back to True Prophecy recently, and yeah, round robin just feels like it power crept it like feel wise alone, not even just stats. Like just the overall feel of it. You got Verglas Curve. Been working on that thing. It's actually pretty fun, man. I will say with Lance Cap, it had some pretty cool synergy. IS Luna with Unrelenting Headstone. Love this combination, right? Ricochet rounds. Hopefully get a lot more usage out of it next season. Edge of Action. I love this glaive, man. Being able to ride in any subclass and doing a little jello, little bubble, right? So what I'm thinking is the way they're describing that no backup plans is getting changed. I can't remember exactly what they said verbatim. Ah, man. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what they said verbatim, but it has something to do with like while you have an overshield and get a shotgun kill, it'll give you a benefit. I think it was like either refreshes your shield, or give you melee energy, or something like that. So I was thinking, I was like, what if you could use the overshield on another subclass, and you can also get the benefits from no backup plans as well. So basically using either the edge of action, right, or using the really anything to give you an overshield. So you could use repulsor brace, but I was thinking of Vex Caliber and then a kinetic shotgun, right? And then maybe leaning into something like Sunbreaker, so you could also get a restoration sunspot or something like that. Like I was just trying to think of all the unique combinations you could pair together with no backup plans. But that's like my main interested focal point next season, because I love when they untie exotics to specific classes, when you can use them universally if you can think outside of the box, right? And so like that's going to be one of the main things I'm going to be looking forward to doing and making, is a combination of that type of sort, right? So yeah, pretty funky is what I'm looking forward to. Get coming up with some funky combinations. I finally got the last iterative loop like last week, man. Been slowly working on this thing. I'm so happy though. I kind of finally crafted with lead from gold and bolt shot. And what's funny is we got a random roll with lead from gold bolt shot, so I kind of just gave up on it prior to finally getting my last one. But that was the last red border I needed from the Amuna. So thank God, right? Till tomorrow when the head cannon come out. Title, the one that she gave everybody, right? Pretty decent overall. Tommy's matchbook, yo, this thing is finna cook. Y'all know how I feel about Tommy's, man. Y'all already know how I feel about Tommy's in this month, man. We gotta go back to the OG typewriter camo, man. Yeah, y'all already know. So, couple of builds in mind, man. Obviously, Actium War Rig with the Scorch setup. The Kitsune helmet on the Titan, right? I can never remember the name of it off the base. I always think of Kitsune because of the Kitsugi, because of the perk, man. Precious Scars though, Precious Scars with it. Of course, Actium War Rig. So Kefries, man, because Kefries is gonna get that extra Scorch tech, right? Which can apply, I think they said 60 Scorch. So I was thinking about using Kefries in conjunction with Tommy's matchbook, which is gonna apply a set amount of Scorch every so amount of bullets. I think it was like apply, I can't remember the number of Scorch, but I think it was like every 10 or 20 bullets is gonna apply Scorch. So the thing is with Kefries now, when you get solar final blows, it helps regen your barricade. And I mean, it helps regen it like rapidly. So in a situation where you're getting a lot of solar kills, you're going to be able to quickly get benefits from your barricade. And so what I like to do is to lean into the tech that the barricade grants, right? Things like Dynamo, things like Distribution, things like Bomber, right? And not only that, there's a couple of extra things in your subclasses that can help benefit too, such as on the Titan, right? When you defeat a suspended target, you get class ability energy. On the Stasis, when you defeat frozen targets, you get super ability energy. So it's certain areas where you can like really just lean into the combination of using the solar weapon, getting a solar kill, and then leaning in the Kefri's Horn, providing you benefits with your barricade, which can then provide you more benefits depending on how you want to spec into it. So long story short, me, Kefri's, Tommy's matchbook, yeah, we looking for builds. that's pretty much the whole gist of it, man. I'm looking forward to that. So that and Skyburners too. Skyburners is actually looking juicy with those changes as well. Yeah, they definitely are. I think what I noticed was we have Overload Scout next season. Skyburners apply Scorch, a higher amount of Scorch now, and you should be able to get to the ignition easier. So intrinsically, it can deal with unstoppables as well. So Skyburners is looking pretty juicy next season. I'm definitely wanting to go revisit that and tinker with that a little bit. But yeah, Kefries is looking like it's going to get some mileage out of it. The Royal Executioner, the other polar roll, right? Instead of lead from gold and Volt Shot, we got lead from gold and incandescent. Love that combination right there, especially nowadays that double special is more prevalent. Judgment of Kelgaroth, I did not know that Demolitionist and Wellspring, the ability regen perks such as those in Thresh, apparently were not providing the benefit they should have on Glaives. So yeah, this is actually going to provide a lot more benefit. And guess what? It's solar, which means that you can use something like this with the Kefri setup that I was talking about. It's definitely going to be pretty neat. Use that maybe in conjunction with funky options. Oh, the Coronac 22, man. I've been chasing this thing ever since I seen it and seen the perks. I cannot get the incandescent roll I'm searching for, man. And I know it's like just use Callus Mini. I don't want to use Callus Mini. I want to use a 600 auto rifle causing incandescent, okay? I know we got the Amit. I know we got the Callus Mini. I want the Coronac, all right? With incandescent Zen moment, man. But yeah, it's a pretty funky and fun setup, man. Fun weapon. I kept this combo just because it's fun. you know, get a kill with something, cascade point. It reminds me of like the Doctrine of Passing back in the day when it used to shoot rapidly. It's nothing too amazing, but it is fun. Salvage a salvo. Love revisiting this thing. I often forget how powerful this is, but it works in so many good builds, man. Cliptic Distaff, you know, love the fact that they gave us a Void Glaive verb perk now. I think the only thing we waiting on now is an Arc one. Yeah, waiting on an Arc verb on a Glaive. And Retrace Path, crafted this OG one with Incandescent Subsistence. I actually need to go revisit and see if there's another combination now that I got the Acacias, but yeah, I kind of don't want to change it because of the alloys, man. We got Circular Logic, Envious Assassin, Vorpal Weapon, kept it on the Titan because of Acting War Rig, Throne Cleaver. Glad they introduced this thing. I need to go to the Enclave actually because the combo I want to go with is Energy Transfer and Incandescent. And see, the thing is, right, it is a solar weapon, so therefore it can work with the combo we was talking about earlier with Kefris. And you have the Incandescent perk on it, and you have the Energy Transfer, right? Guarding while receiving damage generates class ability energy. So just another tool that can help you feed into that overall loop. Retrofit Escapade, of course, 4 times the Charm, Tiger Lock. We got the Reed's Regret. Used to be big boy mehta. I mean, it's still pretty good, but you know, there's other options now that doesn't choke up the instant space. Fixed Odds. The granddaddy of Incandescence, one of the first weapons to come through, one of the first ones I wanted to chase anyway. Still pretty good though, actually. This combo is actually really good. I'd say the weakest thing about this archetype is its reload speed, but field prep, yeah, for lack of better perks, is actually a really fantastic perk on that weapon. Got the other half, you know. This combo actually works together, if you didn't know. Flash counter and repulsive brace. So what Flash Counter does, melee block immediately after guarding, disorients, and weakens the attacker, right? So you got that disorient, but the weaken effect is actually, I think, the void version of weaken because you can proc repulsor brace on that same target. So you block for a second, you have to time it, which makes it kind of clunky, right? But if you do, you know, you time it, you get hit by an ad that melees. So think of like Golgoroth stomping or something, or just an ogre or someone hitting you with a shield bash. You block it. You make them weak because of flash counter, and then you get the kill. Boom, you got an overshield. So a little bit of fun, funky tech, you know, if you wanted to lean into something like that. Maybe be able to use that with the no backup plans, right? You got Threaded Needle, one of the amazing weapons that takes this shader so well, right? I really wish a whole lot more weapons took the Seven Sister shader well, but yeah, auto-loading Vorpal. Then we got the Fire and Forget. Often forget about this weapon, but I love the combo on this, man. Chill Clip on this one gives me the same vibes as that Outrageous Fortune with utility, right? Especially now that the verb perks have more efficacy when it comes to in-game champions, you know what I mean? Like being able to actually stun or stop certain champions, Chill Clip really carries its own weight, right? Because it can technically deal with every type of champion, right? Freeze, I believe, deals with overloads off a rip. Same with Shatter on Unstop, and then Anti-Barrier, as long as your timing is perfect, you can theoretically prevent him from ever barriering up or bubbling up, right? You just got to be on point with your active time and know the cooldown ratio and everything. Another Circular Logic with the Hatchling tech. Probably going to delete one of them. Might be this one. I love the Hatchling vibe, but the fact that I can't craft it, if push come to shove, that will be one that goes. And then Roar of the Bear, Incandescent, and Ambitious Assassin. Pretty fun whenever it's Solar Burn. It's the rocket I go to. I like it over Ascendancy. I got to aim, but it's, you know, verb perk and all that stuff. And that's everything on my Titan. There's a lot more builds that I want to lean into on the Titan though, man. This I did write down. So of course, you know, we're gonna have to lean into the sweet business. Talked about the backup plan combination we're looking forward to. Oh yeah, the second chances. Yeah, so we want to look into leaning into some kind of second chance tech. Revisiting Insurmountable Skull Fort because of the melee changes, right? The cooldowns on that. Eternal Warrior, bro. Eternal Warrior is getting the freaking Path of Burning Steps treatment. And what I was thinking was slapping on Risk Runner, yo. Like Risk Runner is gonna be such a menace with that, especially since you can auto self proc that arc jolt damage, man. Not jolt damage, that arc damage. So I'm thinking of leaning somehow into arc subclass, right? Obviously, and figuring out how to make ionic traces and just let Risk Runner go to town with Eternal Warrior. But there's a lot of other options, man. Things like Symmetry, Trespasser, like that. You can just go crazy with that stuff. But that wanted to go revisit Icefall Mantles again, and there's a combination that I was thinking of, since there's that artifact mod that allows you to get benefits with certain finishers. Maybe using thinking of like a whole fire team now, right? Maybe using the finisher exotics as a team. So not Aeons, but you could use Aeons. But I was thinking of more creative, like Falcons, right? You get benefits when you do Falcons. You could use Severance Enclosure on the Titan, right? And then you could use Fellwinter's Helm on the Warlock. And so each one be on a different subclass, so you get the benefits. I think if you was on a Void subclass and you had Devour and you did a finisher, you spread Devour to your homies. If you was on Strand, you spread Woven Mail to the homies, and then Arc spread Amplified. So, just really split out the three subclasses however you deem fit, and then just run as a full fire team finishing fools. But yeah, just some pretty creative stuff. And point contact can embrace. Definitely wanted to revisit and look into that. But yeah, man, that's everything on the Titan. Let's get on the Lordy Lord. Let's get on the Warlock, and then let's go through this mess that is my vault. I don't think y'all ready for this. Alright, so the Warlock. I guess the game ain't ready either. We contacting the server. Alright, let's see. Alright. Alright, so this is where we're gonna start off with. Malicious Birthright. I was not able to get an adept role. I had an adept role, but I realized recently that I didn't have blinding nades on it. But the role I wanted was auto loading and lead from gold, and disorient, so I could slap on an enhanced, not enhanced, well, really enhanced adept reload masterwork, right? I mean, mod. But unfortunately, I looked at the role and I can't remember what it was. I think it was high velocity rounds, and I thought high velocity was disorient. But anyway, was able to turn this in, but and got this one. But I really like the idea that you can get lead from gold on the Malicious Birthright, so you're not really starved of ammo, and then you pair that with another lead from gold weapon, right? Obviously, and then you just spec into heavy. I really like that idea of a build, so that's that was the kickstart into wanting to chase this down before FOMO kicks in, right? Then we got this Stay Frosty, which is mainly the PvE role, as you can see. Thresh, of course. Adaptive Munitions, back when match game actually mattered, and then Headstone. So pretty fun either way, I love the idea that you can choose what depending on the activity, you can choose whatever you wish to deal with. Then this is the other Rufus Fury, was testing this out, and of course had to get the enhanced version of Thresh. Paracausal Affinity. When this thing gets to going, it is pretty nasty. Paracausal Affinity is actually a really fun perk when you get it going. I like it. I would say a little bit better than Rampage, because Rampage does feel like it feels like you don't get the bang for the buck, even though that they adjusted it to where it folds back in there. What's good with your Reforged, man? How you been, dog? Ready for next season, man? I know you is. I know you ready to hop up in there and get the grinding. Here's another Riptide, the one that I keep on my Warlock. Auto loading, chill clip, demo, and Thresh, the ultimate utility role, whatever I need to switch to, but it's been stuck on chill clip ever since I got it. So but I really love the fact that I ended up getting the insane charge time, right? I know it messes with the damage, but the thing is, I'm using it straight for utility. I'm trying to get the bullets out there as quick as I can, so I was super happy that I got it to roll with that particular combo. The Michael's Reverence, man. Shout out to Cool Juice, because his RNG was bad, good, depending on how you look at it, right? But this was the first weapon he could craft, and he was telling us, he was like, yo, man, this thing slaps. And we was like, yeah, that's what's up, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody was chasing the weapons they was looking for. But I finally got around to getting it and crafting it, and he ain't lying, yo. Like, the Michael's, this thing slaps. I'm not saying that you will outduel every immortal, but if you are wanting to use something else that is in your face with Immortal and Immortal's all in your grill, bro, give Michaels a shot. It is nice, bro. It's something about it that it transcends all other rapid fire rates. But Reforge said, man, I'm all set for next season. How about you, man? I'm good, yo. I'm sitting here ready, pumped, hype, ready to go down to Bikini Bottom and see what's in store, man. I'm hype, yo. A lot of good changes, it looks like. So the sandbox is feeling fresh. It looks fresh on paper. So I'm interested to get in there and tinker with a lot of setups and builds, man. I really am. Autumn Wind. Y'all know how I feel about utility perks, obviously. And this was my favorite combo. Not to this date, but this is one of my favorite combos to use in PvE, period. Demolitionist Thresh, right? Every single kill you get a benefit. You getting your grenade regen, and or I can throw my grenade to reload my weapon, and I'm getting super ability regen, right? And so just leaning into that and the builds that I love to run, where I'm often specking into my grenade or specking into my super, this was the role that I wanted to lock down. Only thing that'd be better than this is if I would have got Pugilist here so I could swap in between Demo and Pugilist. But on top of that, we got, Rampage, Frenzy. So if we do want to say lean off of Thresh and lean into some actual damage, we got that as well. But overall, man, the only thing that would transcend this particular is like if this combo came on more weapons or a better archetype that I particularly fall in love with, like a 600 auto rifle, a trace rifle, 360 auto, right, hand cannon, any of those, and we can craft it. You do that, woof, it's probably gonna be my most used weapon, I'm telling you. But let's see, where are we off next? Battle Scar. Lady Luck has kissed me on the cheek this season. I didn't think I was gonna get it. First roll I ended up getting was Keep Away and Kinetic Tremors, but yeah, ended up lucking out. Was able to snag the Shoot to Loot, Kinetic Tremors, Tac Mag with the Reload Masterwork too. So probably would have preferred more on the stats, but I ain't gonna say no to no reload with a Tac Mag. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Shoot to Loot is gonna proc with the orbs too next season, yeah, that's gonna be nice. But yeah, man, yeah. Anytime anti-barrier pulse come back into rotation, you can guarantee this is essentially my new Night Watch. Lumina, love this bad baby. It's getting a slight little buff, an extra noble round so I can heal one more of the homies for free. You know what I mean? Definitely gonna be leaning into a lot of builds next season with this, simply because that hand cannons are gonna be in the artifact mod as well. And I just love Lumina, man. It's a really good, fun hand cannon. One of these days, I'm gonna get the homies together and we're gonna run an all like exotic hand cannon card or something like that. Run some comp or something like Lumina, Last Word, Thorn, you use some weird synergistic combo. But yeah, love Lumina as a healer, man. I can't say nothing bad about it. I used to crap on it. The homie kept pressuring me to give it a try. Gave it a try, fell in love. Ever since then, I am definitely a Lumina fan. Bite of the Fox. Say what you will about Slick Draw. I love this on snipers. Ever since using it on the Macabre, however you want to call it, I have looking forward to nothing other than Slick Draw. Because the way I feel, right, if you're going to miss, you're going to miss, which most of the time I do. But if you're going to hit it, that Slick Draw, reducing the amount of frames that you even need to think about targeting the target, it just give Slick Draw a try when it comes to snipers. I think that snipers' range pushes them out far enough to where you can deal with the negatives of Slick Draw. But coupled also with open a shot, right? So essentially we do still have 100 range because open a shot gives you at least plus 20, I believe. So yeah, I would have preferred Fluted Barrel. That way it'd have been more snappy, but hey, man, I'll take this right here. But yeah, I fell in love with that thing. Quicksilver Storm, auto rifle, amazing. Is just beautiful, pretty much. It's going to have some pretty cool synergy next season with the Warlock and his new strand ability. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Titan Fletched Storm. Yeah. I think the main thing that I thought about with the Fletched Storm was it looked cool. It looked funky. The thing is, well, the same thing with the Hunter, right? It's going to have to trade. This trade-off is going to be the suspension wave. And I think the other one was the Woven Mail aspect. So it's green wind scars and maybe cause an explosion and a sever burst or something from a distance if you get a kill that way. But that was the only one. And maybe rocking it with Monte Carlo or something. But as far as the Warlock goes, yeah, with it or not, like I could see you running something different if you go grapple, right? But we'll see. We'll see. Hollow Denial, Lead from Gold, Repulsor Brace, you know, standard. Glad I grinded that thing out. 1K Stare, would have preferred a better roll, but hey man, I take what I get. This is my this is what I would say is the next best thing or the safest thing over my slick draw combos, right? Is the quick draw snapshot. Quick draw still feels like it's in a state to where it's like not worth using, but what else are you gonna pick on that sniper, right? You know, so that's the way I feel about quick draw. Like if it has to be like everything else has to be unworthy in order to pick it, and everything else kind of feels unworthy, man. Like there's definitely some worthy picks, but all in all, there's not many combos of quick draw snapshot. I'm also wondering if that combination will be on the sniper coming in comp. I think quick draw can be adjusted, can be tweaked by a second into the field in this spot. I just feel like they overdid it, right? Like yeah, I just feel like they overdid it. Paracall's Affinity is pretty funky. I know next season load on trace rifles, so I may go back and put target lock on this thing. We will see. The Forgiveness gave this thing a little spin. It's pretty fun and funky. That's it. Pretty fun and funky. Not my favorite two burst sidearm. I wish I vibe with it more because they have a really quick, amazing TTK. But I just don't. I can't track with it, I guess is the best thing. Vex Mytha class. I try not to use this thing too much because I don't want it to get nerfed, but they keep bringing it up in the podcast, talking about how potent and powerful it is, and every time it goes under the radar, each and every time, so I'm like, all right, we pull it out every once in a while, and we put it back away. Put it back away, man, because that first adjustment they did to it, it needed it. I say that with an asterisk, right? Like it needed it, but like ever since, you know how they do, man, when they touch it, it's never the same. So like I personally feel the stickiness at range, and like sometimes it just feels bad when it feels as though you should be snagging shots at those distances and you just don't. But all in all, Vex is very powerful with the right combination setup. We keep Rain of Fire on the low. So my Warlocks that know, you know. They didn't mention it about 2 podcasts ago, and they was like, we keeping an eye on it. I was like, all right, bet, that's all they doing. As long as we don't go overboard on the usage, we safe, boys. Divinity. I love using this thing. As you can see, I do frequently use it in PvP here and there. It has some really weird, unique tech that you can create that bubble and just frost somebody with it. But all in all, man, I love me some trace rifles. Yeah, Divinity is one of my favorites. And just pretty much nothing else I can say about that. Love being a support player as well. So anytime we need a Divinity, I don't mind being it at all, because that just means that everybody else gets to fully invest in a optimal, like big, thick DPS loadout. And 9 times out of 10, I have a decent setup like that, but I would rather rely on making sure that everybody else focus on doing damage instead of bickering with each other, and just running the div makes that easier for everyone else, right? Like I I feel as being the anchor point, right? You feel like the my div people know, right? Don't you feel like the conductor, right? You know what I'm saying, at an orchestra, you know, directing the symphony, directing how everybody is leaning their shots and stuff. But yeah, try it next time in PvP. Slap on a div, just hit random people in PvP, and just watch how everybody else's bullets just seem to just sing with you. The Enigma. Looking forward to the Thresh tech getting buffed on it, so I can actually lean into that a little bit. But yeah, I love the Psycho Hack perk that came with these seasonal weapons. That's another tangent for another day. But yeah, I really like the fact that you can weaken your target by using this glaive. Is the main reason why I still have it on and haven't deleted it. But it has been power correct when it comes to the verb perks now. I think the stabilizing rounds on the other one overtakes it. This one though, by far, is my favorite glaive, man. Overflow Incandescent. Overflow eliminates like the main weak point of a glaive, that being its reload speed, I think, especially in PvE content. That fact that it overflows the glaive as well, so it not only kind of eliminates the reloading issue, but it also helps provide a personal benefit by throwing the magazine like plus. I think it goes to 12 with enhanced. Really love this combination thing. I don't know what would make me what would overtake this position. I really don't. Not at this moment. It would have to be something like, I don't know. It had to be something fantastic. And then we have the Coronac 22. So Haven't gotten many of these. The one I want, I still haven't obtained, but Lady Luck, you know, she come visit me when she's due. But anyway, this one right here, though, is nasty. Target lock on a 600. I'm not no professional when it comes to the numbers. I ain't no Gandalf mathematician, but I do know the forgiveness on this thing is so good. Just coupled with range, I really feel like 600s are in the spot where they need to invest more into range in order to be beneficial. Hopefully, with the change coming soon, that will matter less. But right now, the combination of surplus 2 helping with the stats and whatnot, and I know, you know, with surplus, most people don't like it because it's not consistent, right? But all I'll say is give it a shot when you get one. It's just really good. It feels really fun, and not to mention it's a Galliard skin, right? So if you fell in love with the Galliard back then, this is a dream come true. Yeah, nothing else bad to say. All those kills came from Supremacy. The first 2 weeks of Supremacy. That's where every single last one of those kills came from. Winter Bite, amazing. Wish it was in a kinetic at the trailer. You know, the moment we got the trailer, of course, I'm still want my kinetic